Support for this podcast comes from the patrons at patreon.com/FMLFPL. Okay! Welcome to FMLFPL Alon.
Walsh.
What's behind you?
We're starting now.
What's behind you? Is it the kiddo?
Yeah, I think he's making a request.
What does he want?
I don't know.
A pod request or a life request?
He is requesting my presence, but Lauren's running an interference, so I think we're good.
Daddy's working.
How you doing, Doug? Wildcard time?
Wildcard time. Yeah, it was a late decision, but I think actually a logical one, not just pure emotional, even though it probably seems like that because I've just been getting red after red. I think it actually, I think it's a good week to wildcard.
Yeah, I don't know if there is any logic in this fucking game, but we can go with that.
Yeah, there's also that. Nate was just here. He might wildcard too. It might just be contagious. Who knows? Everyone's gonna be wildcarding by the end of this pod.
Don't infiltrate my plans.
I dare you.
Since I know exactly about all the fucking chips and the fixtures, and I'm on top of it all.
The good thing is, I was on above average pod yesterday, and I'm bringing Praz on Wednesday, who's...
Oh, well, he's going to help you what you need to do for game 37.
Exactly. He knows all the blanks, all the doubles, all the everything ever in my life. So it's easy mode after talking to him.
Easy game. Talk to the actual people that know FPL.
Yes.
Just leave me in the dust.
I like that we can do that, though. Like, we could just have our own little perverted conversations, storytelling mode, lifestyle pod. And then if we need, we can call upon the depths of the FPL community.
Dude, don't
we need
call
your help.
Me into the weed. This is, you're on your own on this one, baby.
But if you ever needed, it's there.
I will never need it. I just click buttons.
But if you did, it's there.
Okay, all right. I do have a hotline to Jack Lad, so that's all I need.
Jack, we literally talk to Jack every week on Friday.
Jack talks to us.
Jack talks to us.
So not that way.
Jack is a fucking god.
He's so good.
Yeah, we got some gamers in our Discord. That's
so
for sure.
You just tilted off the edge of the universe, not edging in a good way, and you're on wildcard. That's
look at my goddamn team. Game week 26.
Alex Moreno,
40-pointer. Alex Moreno doing what's now known as the Alex Moreno, which is getting me 2 -1s, 2 1s, and a haul, and impossible to do anything else. I mean,
he actually averages out to be just like, okay.
Yeah, I guess. I mean,
what do you mean you guess? You start him for 7-14, then he just had 4 weeks where he didn't play, basically. I mean, that's the same thing as if he got 3 clean sheets and 3 blanks without attacking returns kind of thing, right?
It doesn't feel that way.
No, of course not, because almost all of the games he's getting either...
I also started him in 20, so that's another 1-pointer in the mix.
Numeral 1, whether there's a dash before it or not, God. He's fond of it. Alex Moreno is fond
torturous. Of it. Yeah, so you got me 22 points in 7 game weeks. I mean, that's 3 points a game. That is not okay.
Yeah, that's Van Heck levels of consistency.
That's not fucking okay. I mean, you could do a whole... We probably will do a whole episode. It's called the postmortem at the end of the season about my first wild card. But I mean, everything that I've done, including that wild card, up until through now, has just been next level disaster. Every transfer's been bad. Well, every decision's been basically bad. It's stupid.
Except for the one you did this week, which
week, I got Ollie instead of Toney. Yep.
Yeah.
Which still, I'm on 100k red arrow, but it could have been worse.
What do you mean still? Imagine if you got Toney, you'd be on 150k red arrow.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just been complete disaster. But,
Because you've been doing too much playing and not enough vibing.
Well, I've been vibing pretty hard. I've been hitting. I've been capping other guys. I'm hitting in doublers. I'm going hard on Kev. Kev is fucking...
Dude, you've been going hard on Kev.
Kev, yeah, look at this captain. Look at this captain right here from Walsh. Nothing like captaining a 0-pointer.
I think that was enough. I swear to God, every episode I'm unlocking quests. I don't think I've ever capped a 0-pointer before.
Yeah, I
couldn't think of one
to mind.
It's good.
I've captained a negative pointer though.
What did you have, like a pen miss injury or something? I don't think I've ever done that.
I capped Gerrard.
Other than Fuckle. I do that in Fuckle all the time.
I capped Gerrard against Man United. The famous
pen miss yellow card or something?
No, the famous sub on at halftime for 1 second and immediately get a red card.
Oh, I remember
the
that.
Simpsons meme. Walk into the bar, put your hat on.
We were watching that game together.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
I captained.
Yeah, I think you were wearing a yellow jersey.
A really rare achievement, I think.
Yeah,
but yeah, you kept a 0-pointer. Kev
it's
is
so funny because the leaks, the whole atmosphere around the leaks, like I'm in this mode of just like, you know, like, I don't believe it. Like, I don't, they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, you were in denial.
You were in denial. Big time. I still am.
Because we got like, there was smoke in the air the night, Friday night. Jack Bones was like, I don't know. And then you were just like, nah, he's going to start.
Yeah. And I just like, watch this, you know? I mean, it doesn't matter that I would have capped Toney otherwise, and he got fucking 2 points, so I could give a fuck. But yeah, you know, I'm ride or die with Kev, baby. So that's how I roll. But I think honestly,
Kev is like my enemy number one, sort of, since my wild card. I mean, I've hit him in. I got rid of him. I hit him back in.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Yeah.
Absolute nightmare pick. I mean, basically, like, you're one of the only people that got good Kev points in the universe.
Yeah, well, because you
got the 12-pointer for the 20-minute 12-pointer. Since then, he's been 7, 5, 4, 2 total in the double, and 0. He just got worse every week.
Well, it's a matter of perspective. Every Kev point
those numbers
is beautiful.
Go down.
The numbers go down, but each point is a beautiful point.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, though, Saturday was the darkest and most upset I've been at FPL all year, I think.
Why?
Because I had no idea what to do with my transfer, and I had 2 transfers. I forgot
about the Richards thing.
Yeah, and I think I stayed up like a good 35 minutes past my typical bedtime, just agonizing over what am I going to do. Like, I was thinking about it all day. I eventually got to the point of fuck Wolves. They suck. I'm
happy we both did that, by the way. At least we both did that.
Yeah, well, I'm not, because the one pick I was chatting with Sarabia, and he got 1,000,000 points. But that aside, you know, I was essentially just like, I want to do nothing. What is the least impact I could do? And I just want to do Trent to a cheap guy, just save money, like whatever.
Roll your transfers.
Roll a transfer. I wanted Mo. Like I just didn't want to do anything. I just didn't want to do anything.
I think perfectly like reasonable, level-headed decision, by the way, by you. Like we always say, right? If there's no obvious move, there's no obvious guy you want, just make money, roll your other free, like, you know, go into
another,
more knowledge.
Again, just to shout another achievement I unlocked.
Yeah.
I floated a transfer and intentionally only had 10 men. I don't even fucking use. I didn't use a free to get 11 men. That's how dedicated to the bid I am.
Yeah.
And
Jesus, yeah.
I literally had Richards. You know how you clicked
you rolled in a double and then you rolled in a blank.
Rolling, baby.
That's a back-to-back insane maneuvering. Yeah.
I literally had the mini box up of Trent out, Richards in, like where you push like confirm. Yeah. And I looked at it and I was just like, how the fuck can I get a Palace player in? Like, this is not going to be, I'm just going to be tormented.
This is another example of don't trust fans, right? The only reason you didn't make the move is because you support Palace.
Well, that's partly, but the other, like, was last week where we just kept talking about, what was the game we went up against Everton? We went up 1-0, right? 1-0.
And it was 100% guarantee you're going to lose 1-1.
And that was it. I just kept going. I'm like, no matter what happens, we're going to lose every game 1-1 for the rest of the season. Like, this is just, we're going to lose it. And I went and got Van Heck for the second time, and they had the lowest, goal number against all year.
Oh, yeah.
Don't keep it clean.
It took a Branth worldy. That was the only good thing
the game
Everton
didn't have
did.
So in a vacuum, in the Van Heck, I'm happy with that, that I got him, but just I was so close to getting Richards.
Yeah.
Literally so close, and I was trying to think of all day. I was like, what can I learn from this? And it's just if the picks are that bad, the cheaper guy should just always be the thing. If the margin is one bad guy to another bad guy, just get the cheaper guy.
Especially because I know Brighton have been improved from the first 20 game weeks of the season where they kept literally no cleans, but they're
still
not
suck.
Good.
Yeah,
they're very
bad.
far from you don't look at really any of the next bunch of fixtures and be like, that's a nailed on clean.
Yeah,
that doesn't exist for Brighton.
And, dude, the other thing with Van Heck, I was watching that game. He had 2.
I know he was so close to scoring. So close
unmarked
to scoring.
Headers right to Fuckford because he's a fucking Dutch cunt.
That's
ridiculous.
Why it's Van Heck, not Van Dijk.
That's why it's a Van Heck. Yeah. Van Dijk, meanwhile, just has been either hitting the bar or scoring every single game for a month.
Right after we said, it just seems like he can score every game, and he just doesn't. He just started doing it right after that. Confirmed listener of the pod. Love to see it.
Challenge accepted. But,
best player in the world.
So the Richards, I was off the edge. I was similarly tilted off.
There's nothing. There's really not much worse than that in the game than having it right there, and the move you don't make is what, a minus 12, something
13.
like that. 13 minus 13.
Yeah.
Brutal.
Killed me. It
Fucking
killed me.
brutal.
It took the whole week. It took me the whole weekend to get over it. And all year I haven't really felt that way.
Yeah,
this was the first one.
You've been just chilling. Yeah,
chilling. This was not chill. I was not chill on Saturday
FPL
at all. Lauren,
is a cruel fucking mistress.
If we need a guest to corroborate that, Lauren will happily oblige.
Oh my God.
I was not pleasant on Saturday. Damien could oblige.
The family walk.
No one wanted to be near me. Yeah, family walk was stark. It
was a bad walk. Oh,
Gymnastics was bad. Yeah.
Shout out to our old clip of Daddy's in a bad mood.
Daddy was in a bad mood.
An all-timer for a reason.
All right. So enough is enough.
Let me league updates because I haven't done it in an actual fucking decade. But the February mug winners, according to FPL Game Week, because the piece of shit site's not updated yet, as usual. Jack Bones, aforementioned Jack Bones, coming first, winning a mug. Good job by him. Jack Bones, aka Peace and Love, of course. Barak Chowdhury in second, aka Notorious BIC. Gets the late Emerson 12-pointer to vault him into mug status. Good job by him. And David Rank, aka David's team, in third. So I'll hit you guys up about your mugs. And then shout out to the leader of the public league, John Tott, aka Mina Girls, aka Catfink in Discord, who everyone knows. 47th in the world right now.
Could be better.
47.
Yeah, could be doing better. He'll get there.
That is
we'll get there.
so crazy. Oh my God. His OR. His Game Week 20 is 1100, then it's 800, 300, 400, 200, 69, 47.
69, bro?
He landed on 69 in Game Week 25. Peak of life.
Yeah. So he's only gone down from there.
Unbelievable, man. Great job by you, dude.
Cat man.
Okay, so yeah, I'm on Wildcard.
All right. What's up?
What's up?
Pretend you're talking to someone who didn't listen to the podcast you did yesterday.
Well, I don't have to pretend because I know that's exactly what's happening right here.
So what are you looking at? What's up? What are the questions? What do we have to do with you?
Yeah, I mean, I can just maybe run through some of the, there's still the cup games to go. And like I mentioned, Praz will come on and explain the fixtures to me like I'm a 3-year-old, and that'll help, figure out the last 5 to 7 picks of my team. But other than that, I mean, one thing immediately on the tip of my tongue is just like, what do you think about your Spurs picks? And Fossey asked the same questions. We've been kind of for 2-3 game weeks in a row, kind of being like, I kind of want like Rich. I kind of wanted to go Spurs. Matto's back, Son's back. They have these good fixtures, but they had the blank in 26, so neither of us went there. Now the blank's done. They're pretty much all good fixtures until game week 34. I mean, at Villa in 28, but they concede 2 goals every fucking game at home now. It's not the same as it was, 2 months ago. Who do you like? Who do you not like? Who do you think? Because I'm personally having a really hard time being like, this guy's the clear best pick because of, we talked about it last week. Son played wing, didn't take any shots. Rich back to being subbed early, didn't really do shit. Matto's been kind of meh. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's just Son.
Because of Pens and because of he's Son and he's been great before?
Yeah.
That was
precisely that. One game against Wolves, he was a little off the boil, right? And also he had done the Korea thing. He broke his finger with his teammate and blah, 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 blah. But we had a fairly lengthy period before that where he was consistently hauling.
Yeah.
Double-digit hauls in and around it. We know he has Pens. And, as they get fitter, the chances of him playing striker go higher because I still think Rich is the worst player in their attack. So any game he starts at striker is just going to be, free money. I think he is an obvious pick.
Yeah. I mean, he's been in Tinkers thus far.
They have no other games. Like, it's just all they do is attack. I mean, just for the next 5 or 6 until, the City, Arsenal, Liverpool triumvirate in 34, where you probably will look to go elsewhere.
Yeah.
Until
how the
that
doubles
point,
fall or whatever. But
until that point, he just feels like a good pick.
And then my follow-up question is, who's the other one? Because I don't think it's crazy to go double.
Well, I think it's definitely Matto or no attacker. I would definitely also look at, I don't know what your plan is for 29, but I mean, Van de Ven's like 4-4 just to put him on the 4th or 5th defender, if that makes sense.
That'll be also because they have a confirmed game in 29. So that'll be me deciding if I'm going to free hit or not move probably there. I do expect their defense to not be as bad as it's been since the Chelsea nightmare game, because it wasn't that bad early in the season. And I expected to, they have fit guys now. I think the fullbacks will be back, if not this week, next week.
Yeah.
They'll be better, but they're not going to be great. Yeah. But why? But, I mean, other than the fact that we both kind of hate Rich, it's like, how is he not just so obvious? I mean, we're talking about a guy who for, 8 straight game weeks was just the best mid in the game. Not exaggerating. Most points, most goals, most obvious pick in the game.
Yeah, I obviously hate him and I think he's bad, but also while he's doing all the obvious things of scoring a goal every game, he's getting no bonus points. He's very fortunate to be scoring a goal in those games from what I'm watching generally. And I don't think that that's sustainable. I mean, I think he's more like a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 player. And I don't think he's in their first 11 when their team's fit, period. I just don't. I don't think he is. I think he's less multi-dimensional as a different attack they could play. I feel like Son, to me, I mean, I'd want 3 of Werner, Son, Kulu, and BJ in the attack, and just Rich can get to fuck because the pace works. Whatever. Son playing striker works. Rich is just fills a space in the pitch and doesn't do anything. He just, he can take a few steps back to find
and
the
he
space.
Gets goals.
Yeah, but I'm just saying in terms of the build up and the way the team functions, I think that he's definitely the worst. He's just the worst option there. So, and I don't think that they've been creating enough. Maybe it'll change with Sudback now, but they haven't. We honestly, dude, towards the beginning of the season when they were scoring a couple of goals a game, we've been complaining about their lack of creation. Yeah. All year, sort of. And they've been getting away with it, maybe just because of the voluminous attack that they do have. But, with Rich is just so dependent on service. That's it, And,
I guess the thing that I don't know, and maybe there's no way of knowing, they have 2 weeks off. I feel like they haven't played in so long. Is that is an Ange striker supposed to play a significant role in build-up? Or is an and striker just supposed to be on the end of things? Because that's a manager philosophy thing, right? Like, we know some managers, Arteta, Klopp, they need everyone involved in build-up, everyone involved in pressing, everything. Pep doesn't give a fuck if Haaland never builds up and never presses.
He
He's
gives
just
a fuck if it's anyone other than Haaland.
But that's what I'm saying. But But
Haaland's the best striker in the world.
I know, but what I'm saying is that, like, if your build-up is good enough with the fullbacks, with your midfield, with your wingers, maybe Andrew's like, that's all I want from Rich, is because he is an elite presser. That's the one thing that he is, even though he doesn't do much build-up. Is like, all I want is pressing from the front and shots and goals. Don't know. All I'm saying is I don't know.
No, you don't, and you have to fill in the lines there of what you think. I mean, to me, he started that way game week 1.
Yeah.
And he literally was the worst player on the field every game, and he played himself into sitting on the bench almost immediately.
Yeah.
So when the build, I think build up and chance creation are two separate things too.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't have the creation, so you can't carry a 9 that doesn't offer anything in versatility standpoint to me.
Right.
So, you know, Matto's back, the fullbacks are back, you know, everything's going, you know, maybe it's okay and he can carry Rich. I still just feel like, you know, the pace, and I'll just be talking myself in a circle. So yeah,
no, that's fine. I just want to know, that's what Wildcard Pod is for, right? It's like, these are the things I'm thinking about, and I'm curious what your thoughts are about it.
Because, I mean, to me, it's like Matto just plays 90, has set pieces, is a better player. Like, if I'm taking a second Spurs mid, it's Matto over Rich for me still.
And I mean, the one thing I mentioned to Adam and Baker yesterday is, like, we shouldn't forget about game weeks 1 through 10, even though the team, like, seems like it's totally different now. Because that's when they were fit, right? Like, that's when Matto was playing and Son was playing, and they were fucking flying and winning all these games. Right. And Matto was the pick.
Yeah.
Like, you wanted
Over
Matto
Rich.
and Son. Rich was a fucking nobody then. We were getting mocked weekly by, like, oh, Rich, best pick in the game, LOL. You know, it's like, you know, so I am Matto curious. I am definitely, like, Spurs curious in general. For the wild card. What about Foden? I mean, Kev, I can't talk to you about Kev. You're too in favor of Kev. I'm too anti-Kev at this point.
I'm capping Kev this week again.
We can't even have the discussion because it will go literally nowhere. Because I'm just like, he's the worst pick in the actual game, and you're like, I'm capping Kev.
Definitely capping him in the dark for sure.
I think he's the worst pick in the game.
Okay, that's fine.
But what about Foden? I mean, obviously, notoriously, I got rid of Foden before a hat trick and then a run of blanks, and then he fucking gets a goal, max bones against Bournemouth. It's starting to feel like I should just bring him straight back, probably.
No, I mean, if I'm sitting in your position, I'm doubling on defense for sure. I'm going just Haaland and 2 defenders. I mean, Foden does not seem to me like he's outpacing clean sheets at all from my standpoint.
Yeah, I think that's basically fair.
And that's where I see it. You know, and when
he'll get the 11 pointers, he'll get a couple blanks. You know, that's
and the 11 point. I mean, it's bonus point dependent, right? I mean, he's not. You know, yes. So the replacement value is also very significantly different from the defender to the midfielder.
But what defender and even the goalie, are you getting?
You know. I mean, I definitely Ruben. Yeah, I definitely would go for Ruben, and then I think
Akanji too starts like he's been starting getting bones.
Yeah, I just feel like Akanji's not in the first choice, which I don't know if that matters as much, but like to me, it's like Walker, Ake, Ruben, Stones, maybe something like that.
Should I go back to Stones?
Yeah, well, you've been there. Ultimately, I think it's Ruben plus one of the other 4. You can roll dice. I mean, you're going to have depth. It's not going to be as important, you know, if you get the guy that starts 2 of 3 or 3 of 4 or whatever. Like, I think you just have to play. Maybe you should also just get Ederson too, which I don't think is crazy. Yeah, because you want to get Arsenal
He's in
defenders.
The conversation.
Like, you know, I mean, 2 Arsenal defenders, Ederson, Ruben, probably optimal. If I were
2 Arsenal is pretty, I would say 100%.
Automatic. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
think
if
Saka,
you have
Saka, Gabriel, Saliba probably automatic.
or White, I mean, if you
Maybe
have them,
White, but yeah.
if you have them plus Ederson plus Ruben plus Haaland, I think that's a really nice base to work off of. And then you can, because the other thing it affords you is you don't have to think about spending transfers in defense for the rest of the year. And you can really play with the midfield spots, which I think are probably the more explosive for transfer, transfer value.
Transfers ins and outs.
Whatever.
Yeah. You always want to use transfers on attackers.
Yeah.
I am still considering a Liverpool defender though.
Yeah, you get Bradley.
Or I get Van Dijk, or I get Robbo.
Nah, I don't think the price is good there for me. I mean, I think they're clearly the third best defense, and I'm still not sure if they're good just by nature of the way they play.
Well, I know they're good, so I'm not worried about that. It's just a matter of
it's Cuivening. Maybe you do Cuivening and you do two.
I have thought about that. I feel like that's the type of thing that will bite me in the ass later.
Yeah.
But it might not. It might just be that we're never doubling up with Darwin. We're never, Jota might be out for the season. We're never doubling up with another defender or something like that, alongside Mo. And it just doesn't matter that a month from now I have a dead keeper who happens to play for Liverpool.
Yeah, you get him as a second guy any second game.
Yeah. I'm just saying, but that's a tough one with Liverpool too. I don't really know what to do because I feel like I sort of have to go Mo, and I want to go Mo.
You should definitely get Mo. Why wouldn't you?
Well, because he wasn't in the squad, and I don't know if he's going to play, whenever the cup game is, and
he'll be fine.
Yeah,
no big deals. No big deals there. Yeah, obviously I'm not a wild card. I'm not tinkering, but it would be amazing to me if, putting 6.5 in a Liverpool defender with the other guys who I think are far better is going to get you a team that you like.
City defense is better, but it's still 5.5, and they might just not start.
Better,
and might just sub
better
on.
And cheaper. Better and cheaper seems good to me.
But no bones, no goal threat. I'm not even sure they're better.
I think we're far apart on that estimation.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, to me, Liverpool clean sheets are getting away with it. Especially given how many injuries
they have. But you would have said
now.
that about City 2 weeks ago.
No, I mean, we've always been tongue-in-cheek about that because their numbers and watching them, I mean, it's always Ederson letting in the one shot. But it just feels to me more like the injuries are catching up to Liverpool and City are looking at the end, light at the end of the tunnel. And the defense is also healthier now with Stones back. He's been very injured all year, which really solidifies things. I mean, they're fit. City's fit now.
Yeah. So basically 100% fit, except Vard maybe,
Yeah, which is, he's their worst player every time he's played, so that's not even missing anything. So, to me, it's no, this is business end of the season City. Their stonks are going up, and Liverpool's are, they're going to have to be putting in heroic performances from unsuspecting players to maintain the level, and keeping clean sheets is not about that, right? So I'm very down on the Liverpool defensive outlook, generally speaking, compared to...
Yeah, we're pretty different on that. I still feel fine with them.
Okay.
Is no Haaland just completely suicidal?
Yeah, that's not a starter.
I'm thinking about it.
Okay.
That's kind of a decision of am I just going to YOLO the season or not?
Well, I think you can join me in half YOLOing where you just don't cap him.
But here's the thing. I mean, I know you're never capping him, but as a normal player of the game, I think you're capping him once in the next 5 game weeks anyway. I think you're capping him this game week, and that's it.
Yeah, Brighton.
Maybe,
probably.
But that's almost definitely a blank. They would have to lose to Luton in the FA Cup.
Yeah.
And then, so the other games are at Liverpool, home Arsenal, home Villa, maybe home Villa.
Yeah. This is just overthinking it, though.
No,
it's he gets a pen. They still are the best team in the league.
No,
You're going to be putting yourself behind the 8 ball about getting him back in with future transfers. Where are you even spending the money?
That's no problem at all. I mean, I get Foden, Mo, Son, Matto, Saka. That's where I spend the money. Heavy at the back.
But can't you get that anyway?
No. And also that's playing five midfielders too.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think that's a good strategy.
Yeah. I don't really think so either. I would never be like free transferring him out, and I still think he's the best cap this week. I think home Man United is a great fixture.
Kevin, you mean?
No. Kevin is just Kevin is just Belgian for Thiago. I mean, that's who he is. I mean, that is who he is. He plays 2,000 minutes a year.
That's fucking
max.
Untrue. Thiago played literally 5 minutes and then he got hurt he didn't play all season.
Oh, who does that? Wait, who does that sound like?
Thiago.
Yeah, and Kevin.
What do you mean? Kevin's played dozens of minutes this year. It's way more than 5.
Yeah, but he played 6 minutes last week.
Still fit.
Probably not.
Hey.
You think he's fit? I've fallen into a trap of thinking he's fit for the last 4 game weeks, and that's been really fun for me. And seriously, just never. He hasn't played a full season since like 2017. He's a fucking joke. But we don't have to talk about Kevin again.
Kevin.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. It's just like, am I gonna just jump off the deep end or not and go for it? Maybe. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Dino asked you, what are your thoughts on any Bournemouth or Luton guys worth bringing in for the double game week? So that's like another thing that I'm thinking about, not necessarily the players themselves, but thinking about like, when am I going to use my triple cap? When am I going to use my bench boost? And what that basically means is like, do I triple cap Dom in 28, or do I get bench guys of like a Bournemouth defender, a Luton defender, maybe Bournemouth or Luton keeper, whatever, and just bench boost them because I know they're doubling now versus having to set up for a bench boost later in the season when I won't have my wild card.
I think 1,000,000% triple cap Dom has to be the play there.
But then isn't it going to be just such a nightmare later setting up for bench boost?
Not really.
That's what I'm kind of worried about.
You're just going to have 15 players and you could bench boost the next week. Like, it doesn't even matter, Yeah,
like we'll know far enough in advance. I'll just take some hits and do whatever.
No hits. Like, don't hit. You have 4 fit players on the bench in a given game week. From game week 30 or 29 on, you just fucking push bench boost. It doesn't
I would
matter.
rather bench boost when
15
they're doubling.
Points. Yeah, fine. Then wait, whatever. I mean, ultimately, you'll get somewhere in the 10 to 16 point region from bench boost.
So you don't think there'll be a better triple cap for the rest of the season?
No,
like if
I don't.
City gets another double, if Liverpool gets another double, if Arsenal gets a double?
No.
Why? I'm curious why. Just the fixtures you think are just that ridiculous that no matter who Arsenal, Liverpool, City are playing, it's not going to be as good?
In a huge way, yes. The fixtures cannot be spoken of enough. Home Sheffield United and home. They're, other than if they had home Burnley, which would maybe be a little bit better than home, I don't know. Like, all 3 of those are the 3 best fixtures in the league.
Yeah, it's not worth like separating those out.
Yeah,
they're too, they're god tier.
They're also playing them at a good time where Sheffield United away especially are just a disaster. They're on the beach and they're terrible. All their defenders are fucking injured and terrible. And Luton are just fucking running up and down the field. Like, there's no defense there to speak of. Yeah. They have a few days off in between the double game week, which we don't always have. They have three days off in the double game week.
Yeah.
There's no minutes concern. Dom's playing 180 as pens. You look at an Arsenal double or a City double where you don't know when it's going to come. You don't know what their other fixtures are going to look like. You don't know if you're getting 180 minutes from anyone there.
Yeah, they could have like a Champions League semifinal in between them or something like that. Yeah,
and it's just from the minute standpoint, but also the fixture standpoint. Like, say one is great and one is okay. Like, if you think of the fixtures
close.
on
I think that's close. Let's just imagine it's one that's almost like as good and one that's mediocre, like one away mediocre and one home good for like Mo. Like, that might be better.
I wouldn't, but that you're just taking
Haaland.
So many risks because it's not going to be a promoted team, and you're taking, like, Mo is a little different, but he might not be fit. and then what?
Well, yeah.
Or
Yeah,
Haaland
of
might
course.
not be fit, and then
Yeah.
what? I mean, so you're playing with, just unknown information versus
Yeah.
a very good option, and it's a very small thing anyway, the triple captainship. It's like everyone gets around fucking 12 points or whatever. Like, who cares, right?
Yeah.
Like, you get 6 points from it, you get 9 points, you get 14 points. Like, fuck, but I mean, I think if you're doing the bench boost thing, like, you're getting bad players from Luton on your team. Like, is that good? Like, you're getting extra shitty ass players on Bournemouth. It's like, what the fuck? Then you're sitting at your team for the rest of the year and you're looking like, wow, I have shitty fucking players on my team. I have all these Luton
Which
guys,
we always talk about. Yeah.
Yeah. And like, it's like, that doesn't add up to me. And I just like playing with the known information. But like, imagine from the fixture standpoint, we talk about fixtures a lot. Like, imagine if you have a scale of like 1 to 40, with each number is the fixture, home and away of the 22, or 1 to 38 or whatever.
Yeah.
If you assign those point values, like 37, 38,
they have
and
number
39
1 and number 3.
are... Yes.
Or whatever the other way around. Yeah,
even if like Arsenal have like a good or Liverpool, it's like, oh, they have Brighton and then like NFO. It's like, those are still like, I don't know. Like, are they good? Like, they could be bad in any given day, like based on what team turns up.
Yeah. They're not consistently conceding like 2 XG every game, which these teams are. There's no other teams that do that. There's no other teams really in like history that do that. Yeah,
that's the thing. It's
basically.
And I think it's the one thing that I am nervous about here is that Dom is on Bournemouth and they've been playing fairly poorly recently.
Yeah, I think they played actually well against City, but like they didn't. They
played City.
Yeah, they played City. It's like a different game than any other game.
Yeah, but they have time off. The Burnley game's like a little warm-up game. I imagine they'll just batter them, and you'll feel good going into the double of this is the pick here. So I would do that.
Good.
That's how I would do.
Good to hear.
That.
Good to hear.
Yeah.
Oh man, yeah. It feels like I don't know. We'll see what the blank and all that shit is. I'm kind of hoping everyone just fucking blank so I can just commit to free hit and not give a shit about it. Not trying to be like, oh, maybe I'll, save my free hit situation. But like, I don't know. Figure that out on Wednesday.
Even if you were to save it, are you just trying to do, like, what would the strategy be? You want to save it to have another double game week where you get all doublers or something?
I think the only way / reason that I would save my free hit is if there are some upsets in the FA Cup and I can get players that I want anyway that don't blank.
Yeah.
That's what I mean, basically, right?
FA Cup.
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll know about the end of the week. Yeah.
Well, like Bournemouth could fucking lose, and then it's like, oh, I have like Neto and Dom, or like Senesi or something, right? And then like I already have 2 Spurs, and then Chelsea lose to Leeds, and then Arsenal and Chelsea don't blank. It's like, oh yeah, I have fucking 10 guys already. It doesn't matter.
All right, but we'll know at the end of the week, right?
We'll know at the end of the week. Yeah, we'll know at the end of Wednesday.
All right, so that'll be one for my life.
No. Right. This is kind of interesting from Bear and Cherry, and kind of filters to my team. I think I know what you're going to say. Well, Al said, is it time for Kai? And that's just obviously no. So that's that Arsenal question we can get out of the way. But Bear and Cherry said, I have triple Arsenal D. Do I double move into Saka, or do I continue sleeping in the bed that I already shit in? And I know it's obviously been so bad. I mean, it couldn't really have been worse. Saka's been 10, 15, 15, 9, 10. Like that's unheard of. But at the same time, they're by a lot the best defense in the league. Like, we were just discussing between like City and Liverpool, like, forget about them. Arsenal's by far the best defense in the league. And there are, now that the blank is over, there's some other good mids. I feel like there were not that many other good mids like 2 weeks ago that didn't blank, but now there's the Spurs guys. Mo's back soon. There's Palmer. There's probably other guys I'm forgetting about. There's Foden. There's other guys. I don't actually think it's that fucking insane, even with this run that Saka's on, getting a pen every game and a dong every game, like a worldie every game. Triple Arsenal at the back and some other mids. I don't think it's that fucking crazy. I honestly don't. What do you think?
Well, do they have the bigger question is Raya included here, or is it straight up the 3 good defenders? Because
I would probably go defender.
If you
Raya's never going to get a save point again.
Yeah, but I'm saying like the teams, like if you have Saliba, Gabriel, and White, I'm not touching that.
Yeah.
But if
you're
Raya
talking about
is
the
one
guys who
blocking,
ask the questions.
Yeah, if Raya is the one blocking from Saka, bomb that away immediately.
Immediately.
Yes, do those moves immediately.
Yep.
But I think that's the answer, right?
That's the answer. I mean, we know it's weird to like have a disciple of Pep like also having a title challenging team. Like we know what Raya's point total is going to be. Just look at Ederson's history. That's what it's going to be. Right? Like they're going to like he's going to be like 130-ish or something, between 130 and 150 it's going to be fine and not worth the money. We just know that's a fact because he gets 2 or 6, never gets save points. Best defense in the league, still doesn't matter, don't want him. Whereas, the defenders, there's just very few good defender picks. I mean, you could, hit the jackpot and the City guy you get starts almost every game and cleans when he starts and whatever. But you could also just have triple Arsenal D and start them every game and just feel great about it, I think.
Yeah. I mean, I know you're on Wildcard. We've been talking a lot less about football and more about FPL, which is...
This has been all Wildcard pod.
Very different experience. But, I mean, key viewer, they should just sell Zinchenko.
Yeah.
Like, they have been... It's an immeasurable amount better with this player in the team than Zinchenko. It's not even a close.
It's crazy.
It's like he's been the problem, honestly. It's really startling to just watch them for a few games where you have someone who's reliable and doesn't gift goals every game, which is really what Zinchenko always does. And they kind of are like, well, we have to do it in spite of this. And he just comes in for a few games. He's like, watch this. Like, I'm just not going to do anything extravagant. And also I'm not going to give the other team goals. And this is so much better. Like the amount of, like all he's been talking about Arteta all year is like having controlling games. And where's this been? Like, this is just unbelievable how good they are with him in this position.
I remember Double Pivot guys joking at the end of last year after City win the treble. They were just like, well, we know Arteta's going to go 4 center backs now, right? He's just going to do the Pep thing. And they ended up on 4 center backs and they've been completely dominating the league. Like it's just been a complete joke of a game. Every game they just like blow every team away since their little break or whatever. And the thing with Zinchenko, I think more noticeably last year was like, man, he's so good in build up. It doesn't matter that he's like, every team's going to go down that side and try and score because he brings so much to the team. And what we've seen with like Rice, Kai, sometimes Jorginho is like, they don't need someone else in build up. Their build up is fucking incredible. Their build up's like the best in the fucking Europe. And they can just have a center back sit back there.
Yeah.
So
it's great.
Yeah, it's a good
defense
development
looks even
for them.
better.
I know. If I wish Zinchenko and Tomiyasu were like more hurt, so I could just get 4-3 Kivior instead of White and just like start him every week.
I don't think that's a bad risk to take if you need the money.
If I need the money, we'll see. We'll see how Tinkers go there. What do you think about Palmer?
Oh my God.
Palmer and the
I
Blues
feel like
losing to Liverpool.
I know. I just feel like a hostage at this point because I have held him when I've wanted to get rid of him for a while.
And now he's here.
He's here.
He's here.
Like, he's very much here for the next 2. I don't know what I'm going to do with the Arsenal game. Then he has Burnley at home. So it's just so aggravating to me when I watch him standing on the touchline, in these peripheral positions when he's like being forsaken so that Conor Gallagher can get into goal scoring positions, which like it just happens every week. I don't know if Palmer speaks the wrong English accent than Gallagher. Like, they're both should be fucking him up the ass with their English dicks. Pochettino just can't get out of his own way with this. It's crazy. He's like, let me make my best player and most influential player as peripheral as possible. And that seems to be what he does with Palmer, like, as much as he can. And it's just very infuriating to me when they clearly have N. Jackson playing, like, Nkunku's not fit. So, I mean, they just have no goals there. And it's just crazy to me. All that said, he's 5'7",
crazy price.
Couple really good fixtures, a tough one, then Burnley, Sheffield United, Everton, not too far away. I mean, he'll probably just have these games where he's like 2-15, 5-2-12. Like, he's just going to return really well for a midfielder.
I'm kind of with you. I mean, I just think that, like, I feel like he's almost being weirdly overlooked a little bit because Chelsea been weird and got rid, and he's still cheap. I still think there's price bias happening and whatever. I think he's a fucking great pick. Like,
I wouldn't go that far as great.
I really do. I mean, I'm also somewhat basing this off of the cup game where he was great against Liverpool. Like, should have scored, created chances, their most dangerous player, at least for like 90 minutes.
Yeah.
And I mean, Chelsea are obviously a fucking mess, and Poch has created no culture there, and whatever, yada yada yada. You can talk about these things a lot, but I just feel like he's gonna just keep ticking, and like you said, a couple hauls, and you're laughing your way to the bank, and also, like, you need an enabler. If people are really angling towards, Haaland, Ollie, Dom, Son, Saka, Mo, and like probably pretty expensive defenders too, because all cheap defenders are fucking terrible. So probably at least 2 5 million guys and maybe another 5.5 or 6. You need a cheap guy to start every week, and he's by far the best.
Yeah, he's the best under 6 million midfielder by every measure you could possibly look to find. It's not remotely close. So I mean, if you're looking at a team where you need a player in that price bracket, then it's definitely going to be him.
And I think most teams will, unless you're going super rogue and you're like, no Haaland or no Mo, or I don't want Son, like fuck Spurs. Like, those are the only teams that are like, I don't need a 5'7" midfielder. I can just have like whatever.
Yeah, well
Bowen and some other fucker.
Yeah, well that's
Doug Luiz.
Yeah, it depends. It depends how your cookie crumbles there, but ultimately, that's your choice. But yeah.
Okay.
So you're looking at getting Palmer back in and
I mean,
again.
I just think he's part of the best attack like that you can make on a wildcard team. I mean, you could go for an additional Spurs guy over him, or whatever it is. But ultimately, like, at least in the little bit of tinkering I've done before we know about the blanks and stuff, you do need the money. Like, it just keeps ending up with like, okay, but I'm not going to start 4 defenders every week because defense is bad this year. And so I need a 7th attacker that I can start pretty reliably every week. I don't think it's a Wolves guy. I don't think it's Garnacho. I still don't think it's Doug Luiz, despite him having 130 points somehow. So it's Palmer. I mean, that's it. That's the only guy you could get.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
What about people who have Toney, like you? Are you going back to Ollie? Hardley and Graham Burglar are just like,
come on.
I'm getting absolutely murdered by Ollie. Going Toney over Ollie. What do I do?
No. That, first of all, that's not accurate. That's not the case, right?
Yeah, the point up until this week, right?
Yeah, it's kind of
actually it is the case.
It's the case.
It's the fucking case.
It's kind of the case.
9, 13, 2, 18, 7.
Yeah, because I had Ollie for the 18, so I got rid of him after that. So I've lost, what is it, 25, and I've gotten, it's been bad, but
it's actually really bad.
It's bad, but I'm definitely a fucking stan with Toney, man.
Okay,
I love him. He was fucking hammered ass drunk today.
If you were gonna give advice to someone who isn't a stan, I mean, what do? You just get Ollie? I mean,
you capitulate to the overlords of the Oliver
probably.
Overlords?
I mean, I feel like we'll get a better look back at things like when it's post-mortem time, but I do feel like the punishment levels this season have been just astronomically high. anytime like anyone, like our live stream crew, who they send us their teams or whatever, or one of us like takes a risk, like, oh, this 95% owned guy I'm not going to have for 1 week. I feel like it's always just like auto double Digital. Just
Get
like
fucked.
Yeah, just like Saka, Ali, Foden, Mo, Son, like they just fucking destroy anyone that's gotten rid of them all year.
Yeah, I mean, Ali has 29 returns in 26 games.
No
Is
pens.
that good? No pens.
Dude, he has 170 points. It's game week 27.
It's pretty good. So, I mean, if you're going against that, you're our kind of level of psychotic because, you know, I mean, I don't even know. And with Ollie, it's like I've gone back from post-mortem last year and precog to like, he's my guy. And then
that's
three games happened in game week 1, 2, 3, where he looked like the worst player on the pitch and got me points anyway. And I fucked him off. And it was just never again from that point forward. Where there's another world where I just held him literally all year and I haven't done anything with that spot or thought about
post-mortem last year, Walsh was like, Ollie, 100% nailed in my team. Incredible pick. Turned the corner. Incredible player under Emery. Best pick in the game.
And I had him
followed through with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you followed through with it. Ollie got you 5 points. 5 points.
Captain,
5 points.
10 points. 10 points.
Okay, 10
Captained.
points. Then a 2-pointer against Liverpool. And that was it.
That was it. Subbed every game. I don't want to see you again.
Get out of my fucking team. And then he went on a run of 9, 23, 5, 11, 2, 2, 6, 5, 11, 1, 2, 9, 2, 2, 8, 1, 7, 18, 2, 13, 9.
I did get him back. I got him back for a little bit.
God damn it. Imagine you just held him all year.
A Tale of Two Cities by Mr. Dickens.
Fucking hell, dude.
Yeah, of course, you know, Ollie over Toney, especially if you're looking at the next few fixtures. That's not particularly close, but also just definitely get Toney. So... Good luck. Good luck with that
the troll and you will never die. Yeah. I don't know what's going on this season,
What's going on here? It's
I mean, like there's some more questions here, but I think we can easily push them back to Thursday because they're kind of like we need more info on some of these. But what are you doing with captain this week? I mean, Harley Boys asked, like, I'm thinking Haaland, Saka, Ali, Dom, Mo are all viable options. And Ben asking, what do we think of the Mank Derby? D. Naylor said, how shitty is the Saka cap? And what are you thinking with cap this week?
I'm capping Kev. If I wasn't, it would be a very, very narrow between Saka and Dom. I think you got to play the fixture there.
No,
I have
Haaland. And you need to like give a warning of like... Yes, but if I was playing with any amount of sanity, I would captain Haaland, right?
I don't need to do any of that. I mean, I didn't consider Haaland last week. It's fucking 5 points subbed early. I know what I'm doing over here.
Yeah, okay.
Haaland's not the pick this week. I think Dom and Saka, to me, it's just looking at those fixtures is the discrepancy is so great from Mank Darb. Even though, you know, they have some injuries in defense. This is Manchester United Football Club. I lean a little closer to Saka than Solanke than Saka, as I'm a little bit put off by Monday night under the lights at Sheffield United. I mean, Bramall Lane in those kind of conditions
they
can
get
be a little,
and they probably have Champions League or no? They're the next week.
Yeah,
they're the next week.
Yeah, but like that isn't. It's obviously a very good fixture, but it also isn't as good as it could be if it was just kind of hidden away in a, you know, Sunday midday kind of bracket. And you know, the Bournemouth Burnley game, it's just like a morning game or a midday game. It's like it's going to be fucking dead at Turf Moor, and I expect Bournemouth to just destroy them.
Isn't it funny how much different like the vibes of Burnley versus the vibes of Sheffield? I mean, they're the two worst teams in the league, and they're both 100% going down. But whenever I hear Burnley woman on Anfield Rap, she's just like,
she wants to kill herself.
She's like, this is the most miserable season of my life. What are we doing? We're completely clueless. Company's worthless. All our players are bad. We're gonna fucking blow it. And I feel like the vibes at Sheffield, like, Bramall Lane still like wasn't like Wilder's.
It wasn't until Wilder came, and then they're back, right?
They're okay.
back to
like,
it's like
they're the worst team in the league, but like
they're not okay, but they're okay.
I just mean like the fan morale is like, we're going to sing and go down and it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah. And, so I think the fixtures are kind of close. You can combat that by saying, Arsenal attack is obviously better than Bournemouth attack. Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
Arsenal
spread the goals.
Yeah, winger, Dom, not a winger, another one over there. So, yeah, I'm feeling Dom over Saka if I was going to go somewhere else. So yeah, that's how I'm seeing it this week.
Okay.
What about you? What do you think?
I think it's very obviously Haaland.
Yeah, I think that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean he's like out of form. Don't really care. I mean he could have like in both Bournemouth, well, in all of the Bournemouth, Brentford, and Chelsea game, he could have hat-tricked.
Did he?
No, but he could have. That's what we're trying to project the future, right? So I mean there's this one weird outlier game where Man United beat them, remember? And it was like there was like the Bruno goal that was obviously offsides, and like it was just such a fucking weird game. And the other games, City fucking destroyed Ten Hag United.
Kevin is going to score so many points this fucking
You can't
weekend.
score if you're not on pitch, though.
Yeah, he's starting with the armband.
You know what Kevin is? He's not the Belgian Thiago. He's the Belgian Pulisic. He just feels things, and he's just sad, and he's a little crybaby, and he's just going to stay on the bench. Finish a fucking final one time, Kev.
He's the best
let me
player
finish
in the
the
league.
final. Holy
It's hard
shit.
to finish a final when you're being targeted, okay? Okay?
There's a sad Kev in the GIF this week for a reason, and he needs
So
to
I don't care what the Kev facial expression is. He's the best player in the world. So you're going to go on Haaland, or you're not sure if you're even going to own him? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, if I have him.
You're fucking off the deep end, man.
You can't even. Your take is I'm fucking off the deep end, where your take is I'm permanently never captaining Haaland.
Yeah, I own him. I'm not that nuts.
Okay, but you're not even capping him.
Yeah, but I own him. You're saying he's the most obvious captain pick
of this
and
week.
You're like, I'm not going to own him on my team. And I'm like, I don't agree. I own him on my team. One of those things is crazier than the other.
Yes, but you're saying I'm completely off the deep end when my plan is like I'll get him back and then probably captain him fucking 9 out of 10 weeks throughout the season, which I think is more sane.
That's what I'm saying.
I think it's
That's
more
my story,
sane.
and I'm sticking to it.
Fine. Haaland out. Trash pick. I just am like, and it's really like become that kind of season. I was flying this season to heights I've never reached to start a season. I never start that well.
What do you fucking start? You were in the middle of it and you were doing that. You could have been where Catman is and it just fell apart.
Yeah, completely fell apart. And so now I'm just off the deep end, need to just finish 1 million or rebound. And so I'm willing to take very big swings and just like, whatever, that's kind of, I've gone that far and I've accepted it, we'll see where I end up. I don't even know where I'm going to end up. I mean, there's 9 a lot more days left
in the last 10.
Yeah. Almost every week's a red.
Yeah.
My peak was game week 16. I was 39K.
Yeah, this is post-mortem status.
Game week 26, I'm 320K.
Yeah.
That's fucking historic.
Yeah, it's not good.
Not good. Doesn't feel good. Any games you want to talk about or anything? Or should we just get out of here?
Games from the weekend?
Yeah, I don't know. We didn't do anything except talk about my wildcard team.
Yeah, your World Cup team.
Palace, 3-0, easy.
Yeah. Fucking so lucky that Brown has still lost his mind for a moment. Everton game wasn't a thing, not a thing. Man United suck. They're back.
Arsenal are great.
Man City barely won. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest one was the Wolves. Yeah. Was the Wolves, baiting.
Yeah. I mentioned it on Friday Night Live with guests.
That they're bad?
Not well, yes, but also specifically how and when they're bad, which is when they are given the ball and they're the favorite.
They don't know nothing to do with it.
They're really exciting when they get to counter, and that's all of their best performances of the season. That's all of Neto's returns. That's most of Cunha's returns and Sarabia's returns and Wenger returns and all that shit. And then when Wang is striker and they have all of the ball, they're just a fucking nightmare. I mean, their goal was sick. Nori, great cross, great header from Sarabia.
Yeah, and it was their only shot on target until stoppage time. Basically,
they were miserable. It was an awful game.
Yeah, they didn't function and couldn't play. And Sheffield United, even though all their players are bad, just by having men behind the ball, Wolves have not had one game like that all year, so they don't know what the fuck to do.
They've had a bunch, and they've been bad in all of them.
Yeah. So
they lost the reverse one against Sheffield. It was the exact same game, and they lost 2-1. It's happened a bunch of times.
Yeah. So that's nice. I mean, that we avoided that, and also, I think it is something though where everyone kind of got sucked into. Because I guess Man United too, though, right? I mean, Man United home Fulham was the other one that you're looking at before the weekend.
It was like, shit.
Yeah. And, Shaw getting injured.
And Haaland.
And their build-up maybe changing a little bit, and Højlund's not playing. All of a sudden, they're just don't really function.
Yeah.
And they're going to probably be in a really bad position for the next few weeks. Without the out ball, without Højlund, he's doing a lot for build-up, right, for them. But
and also,
bad teams are bad. Bad teams are bad.
Yeah, Højlund was doing really good shit for them, and he moved Rashford into his considerably worse position. Yeah. Moved Garnacho to left wing. He's considerably worse there. I think he's been great at right wing. I mean, he's just a fucking moron. Yeah. He is such a fraud.
Yeah, but I think it's the Wolves thing you have to look like you're talking about, right? A little deeper too. Just because a team is slightly better than the worst team in the leagues doesn't mean that they're going to batter them.
Yes.
Even though this team has been getting battered, and you have to take that out of it, right?
Yeah, exactly. I had that thought earlier today. I forgot to mention it. It's just we talk about it in a positive way all the time. Every pod, not just us. When I say we, I just mean people who follow FPL. Son is playing against a team with a high line, in the last 5 years. Everyone in the world is saying, "Oh my God, this is Son bread and butter game. He's going to get behind them," right? But we tend to not talk enough about the opposite, which is Wolves have 70% possession. They're fucking dog shit. They have literally no idea what to do with the ball. They have no build-up plan. They have no possession plan. That's not how they want to play ever. And I think that just a little bit more attention to that, you can avoid some traps probably.
Yeah. It's just hard in the FPL community because we spend so much more time looking at fixture, color, or quality, and then translating when the top 4 teams play Sheffield United, they're the worst defense in the league. But what happens when the bottom 7 teams play Sheffield United? Oh, the games are cagey and no one does anything. Because the bottom 7 teams suck when they play teams that they can't counter against, because all they do is counter. Having that imagination matters a great deal to avoid these traps, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then, West Ham today was Bowen fucking whatever.
It doesn't in that game.
Doesn't matter, not even a data point. So, I guess there wasn't a ton to talk about. Manchester United, this Manchester United Football Club we could talk more about, but it's not that interesting, right?
Yeah, and it was a blank, so a bunch of teams didn't play, obviously, and Liverpool win the cup. Oh, I just disappeared. I'm back. Liverpool won the cup, and, more injuries, played 120 minutes. What team are they going to be able to even roll out? No idea. Literally no idea. Darwin wasn't in the squad. Mo was in the squad. Sobo was in the squad. Cujo, Trent, etc. So, we'll see. If we learn, it's kind of a convenient week to, again, it's another reason why I like this week for Wildcard is we have FA Cup games. So we'll see squad stuff. We'll get extra pressers, that kind of shit. Yep. We have the blanks will all resolve this week. So I'll have all that. And as much as I hate the leaks, all the games are at 10 a.m. again. There's no early game. So I'm going to know, if Mo's starting. I'm going to know if, any in those games, I'll know what the deal is. I might have
to actually wake up for the leaks this week.
Yeah, I mean, there's fucking 6 games at 10 a.m.
I also didn't wake up for the leaks. Because Kev was leaked.
Shit, you captained Kev.
Well, he was leaked bench the morning of, right?
Leak bench morning of. Yeah, I decided to just hold him because I was like hoping he'll come off the bench, but obviously he's a fucking piece of shit.
I could have had 2 more points. I could have had 2 more points this week.
Yeah, I mean, you could have had a lot more points if you kept Haaland or Saka.
I would never have done either of those things.
Or Ollie.
No, I would have kept Toney. I would have gotten 2 more points.
Yeah. Toney. Yeah. Toney was not on it today.
No, he was hammered drunk, baby. He was fucking drunk. Drunk AF. Yeah, Key Lewis Potter.
KLP.
Enemy.
Got the assist.
He's on the list. He made the list today. He was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Got an assist though.
I don't know. I turned the game off before that happened, so it didn't happen. Okay. I didn't watch that. He was the stone cold worst player on the pitch for the 40 minutes I was watching, and I just couldn't handle him.
Yeah, Brentford are fucking fucked up weird team. They're so inconsistent.
They're not inconsistent. They suck. Look, dude, they've won 2 games in like 5 months. They lose every game. They lose every game.
They've had a very brutal schedule, not including today. Today's a bad loss, but City, Liverpool, City, Tottenham.
A lot.
And then they won the games in between all those games.
Dude, look from game week 26, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss.
I know.
This is not inconsistent. They're just fucking dog shit this year. They're so lucky. They're lucky that everyone else is getting point deducted and all the promoted teams.
Listen, I think they played well against Spurs. I think they played well against City. Barely lost. Could have not lost that easily. They were bad today, though. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it, dude. I don't know. All Big week. Prazpod, Friday My Life, live stream, all the shit. You're back for live stream?
Let me check.
And Friday. You're back for Friday My Life, I hope?
Well, yeah, no, Friday My Life for sure. Friday.
Okay.
Yeah, live stream's good. 9 a.m. normal time.
Let's go. Let's fucking go.
Putting it in my calendar.
All right, let me slap asses. We got 2 new signups. Good job by you guys. Greg O'Connor, Michael Terrell. Fuck yeah, baby, get in there. And that's pod. Any last words, dude?
See you tomorrow.
I'll see you tomorrow, man. Check us out at FMLFPL.com. Follow us on Twitter at FMLFPL Sports Beach. Become /FMLFPL. Subscribe, rate, review, cheers.